Welcome everyone to St. Mary Swanee, the Air Center for Spiritual Development October Outreach. We are gathering again on this beautiful October afternoon for an online session, our free sessions to reach out to our community that can't be here with us in person, or you just want a little taste of the flavors of spiritual practices that are as offerings here at the Retreat Center. We hope that one day you can join us in person for one of our retreats. We do have a link in the chat to our programs page. We hope that you can visit that page and find something that interests you. If not, it's okay. We can just be present in the moment today and be together in fellowship. We have a very special treat for you today. We're going to be with joining Kara Oliver, our new executive director. We're going to learn a lot about her in just a few minutes. I'm going to cover a couple of housekeeping things first. First, I wanted to let you know that if you have any questions or comments or want to interact, we're going to make time for that at the end of our session today. Kara will nudge you and direct you in how we're going to do that. Also, if you would like to sign up for a retreat, again, you can check that link out in the chat. And another thing that we want to make sure that everyone is informed about is that we at St. Mary Swanee believe that rest, renewal, and reconnection is something that is not a privilege. It's something that is for everyone. And if you find that finances are a obstacle for you to attend a retreat, we would encourage you to contact the reservations team about scholarships. Scholarships are available for all of our retreats, and you can find out more about that by contacting our team. Okay, that being said, we are going to now have the pleasure of introducing our executive director here at St. Mary Swanee, Kara Lassen Oliver. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her bio, and then I'm going to tell you about what I know about her.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Kara has over 15 years of leadership experience in spiritual formation, hospitality, and organizational growth. As a United Methodist layperson, she served as a youth pastor, a volunteer in mission for 2 years in Malawi. Those stories are amazing. She has a book. I'd love for you to experience the book. It's just a beautiful, beautiful publication available on Amazon still, I think.
Mhm.
Most recently, she served on the staff of the Upper Room, and now we have the privilege of working with her here at St. Mary Swanee. One of my favorite stories about that connection and how that happened is Kara said that one of her conditions of coming here is that she could bring her whole self. I just love that. I love that. And I feel so honored that we've been able to perhaps experience her whole self here. And it has been just such a privilege to work with her so far. She's brought such a new energy and excitement and enthusiasm to this organization that I hope you are feeling just in this Zoom room and in the place when you step into the place. We are feeling it here in our working relationships, in our visions and our dreams for the place here. And I hope that that all translates into your experience in this hour that we have together. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kara.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth. Well, I do want to spend the time that we have this hour. I want to tell you a little bit more about me and how I came to St. Mary Swanee and the Air Center for Spiritual Development. And I want to give you an update on what we're doing here. But mostly, I want to lead you in some breath and some movement exercises and practice. So before we jump into slides and information, I just want to invite you to come into the present moment, just wherever you're seated, to get comfortable. Maybe that's with your feet on the floor, maybe that's cross-legged. I just listened to a meditation with Thich Nhat Hanh last week, and his instructions for mindfulness were so simple and so beautiful. So I want to share those with you now. If it's comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. If that doesn't feel safe or comfortable, maybe just gaze at this beautiful bluff here behind me or something just in front of you in your space. And as we begin with the inhale, simply saying to yourself, I am breathing in. And as you breathe out, I am breathing out. Just repeating that. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just aware of your own breath moving through your nose, your mouth. I am breathing in. And feeling the breath leave your lungs or your stomach. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. And I am breathing out. Continuing in your own rhythm, maybe shifting that mindful focus to the words deep on the inhale and calm on the exhale. Inhaling deep into your belly. Exhaling calm to yourself. Inhaling deep into your lungs, maybe the deepest breath you've taken today. And exhaling calm into your space, people in the house or building with you. Inhaling deep and exhaling calm out into the world. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And maybe adding just a gentle smile, just the tips of your mouth curving up. And notice if that subtle change impacts your body, your mind, your soul. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes, maybe moving your thumb on the pad of each finger and feeling fully present here in this moment. Welcome. I'm going to share with you just a few slides so that you might get to know me better. Let me get So Mary Beth told you a little bit about my background. This quote here on the left has been meaningful to me at different stages of my life. It's by author Marjorie Thompson, who is also a retreatant here at St. Mary's every year. She wrote a book called The Way of Discernment, and this is a paraphrase of her wisdom. But she says that discernment is the aha moment when the disparate pieces of your life come together. And in 2024, it was one of those seasons of my life where I thought, all of this random experiences and jobs and education I've had, I don't know how they add up to a job. uh, but you can see here, I have a religious studies major from Butler University in Indianapolis. I'm a Hoosier girl. And then I have a Master of Divinity from Vanderbilt Divinity School. My husband and I came down here just literally weeks after we got married. We moved from Indiana to Nashville, raised our family there. I've worked for the United Methodist denomination in several different capacities, but I started in the United Methodist Youth Organization. And at 25 years old, I had the privilege of participating in a program called the Youth and Spirituality Project. And it was a whole cohort, and where we were learning that youth ministry could be so much more than pizza and bowling. That youth actually were also craving silence, stillness, imagination, prayer practices. And I'm so grateful that I had that experience so early in my life, so that when I became a youth pastor, I also got to practice that and try that with the youth and see that it really was something they were craving. And that was really a pivotal time in my life. All along the way, I was writing. I wanted youth ministry. I wanted to have a little bit of supplemental income as we started having babies and raising our family. So I was writing curriculum and putting my toe into the publishing world. And then in 2009, my husband and I heard a calling, a prompting to try something radically different. And so with our children, who were 3 and 9, we moved to Malawi, the small landlocked country in southern Africa, and we served as volunteers in mission. In the United Methodist world, that means we were missionaries who didn't get paid. But we spent 2 years in Malawi. I served as a local pastor. We were writing grants. We were hosting mission teams. Again, a very pivotal time in our life. And then from there, I had the opportunity to begin training writers in Africa, the Philippines, and Europe, and got to do that work for 10 years. And then ended up at the upper room, where I got to continue doing some of that work, and then eventually served as the associate publisher at the upper room. So all of these pieces, the through line really is contemplative spirituality. That has been part of who I am since I was a teenager. And then being able to then put that in, help other people publish what they believed and held dear about contemplative spirituality. And then coming to here at St. Mary's Swanee, I do feel like I get to bring my whole self. During COVID, I got my yoga certification. So it's not uncommon to find me walking around here barefoot. Right now, I am barefoot. So it's just this beautiful opportunity here at St. Mary's Swanee to bring my nonprofit and organizational experience, to bring what I've learned about hosting and hospitality, and to get to lead spiritual practice, especially on fun days today where I get to sit out on our porch and be with you all. So that's a little bit about where I have been and how I came here. This briefly is my beautiful family. And a picture of my dad in the bottom left, who spent his career in hospitality. And I know that he would just be delighted to see where I have come and would have lots of opinions about how I'm running this place. But that's a little bit about me. In 2024, I did lose my job, and that was a really difficult time in my life. And I spent the bulk of 2024 feeling like the world was a very vulnerable place. It felt vulnerable for me. It felt vulnerable in a world of conflicts and war and violence. It felt vulnerable for the creation that we love and that sustains us. So I spent a good part of 2024 thinking and exploring what are the spiritual practices that help me sustain my faith. What are the things that I need to commit to be held accountable to practice on a daily or weekly rhythm, to help me sustain faith? And for me, that means sustaining faith in God and in something bigger than ourselves that is supporting us. It means sustaining faith in my community and fellow humanity. And how do I sustain faith in this creation? Not just the created world, but that the long arc of history really does bend towards justice. How do I sustain my faith in those things? And what are the practices that help me to do that? And so when I started interviewing here at St. Mary's Swanee, I saw that that is really what St. Mary's is also invested in. Our vision is the spiritual transformation of the world one person at a time. And I think what's powerful about that is the one person at a time, because every person finds sustains their faith with very unique spiritual practices. For some people, that's being in nature. For some people, that's listening or creating music. For some people, that's silence. For other people, that's being in community. So I feel like St. Mary's is really invested in finding the leaders, supporting the leaders, offering opportunities for a variety of people, and not thinking that that can all be done in the same way for every person, so that the spiritual transformation of the world can happen one person at a time. And Mary Beth has a beautiful story about that here at St. Mary's. Mary Beth, will you tell them about that?
I would be happy to. So let's see. So we had a visitor that came to the come and see, and she had only attended the a luncheon. We host the EQB, which is a group of retired professors from the university. Originally, the group was formed for that, and they come once a week and have lunch with us, and they have a community program, and they're kind of and she only attended that one event. She came to our open house. We had an open house in August. One of the scheduled events that we had at the open house was a uh, around the clock practice. It was a different practice every hour on the hour, centering prayer, a mindfulness practice, a yoga practice, an art and spirituality, a creative practice, and a body work. It was all different things. And Vicky came to me at the end of the day and she said, Mary Beth, I had no idea that you did all these things. She said, I went to every single one and I've never ever done these things before. I was so out of my comfort zone. And she was just thrilled to know that St. Mary Swanee was so um, diverse and so interesting. And she just had no idea. And she was so excited.
Thank you, Mary Beth. So I think that's the beauty of this October online series, that is that you all get to have a taste of different things that we are offering and that you can expect in the new year and in the years to come. So just again, very briefly, here at St. Mary's Swanee, I've been here about 9 months. And when I came, I was just overwhelmed and humbled by the passion and the commitment of the staff here, of the volunteers, of the people showing up every week for these luncheons, every year for for their retreats that are so meaningful to them. And I experienced really a sense of exhaustion too. I think a lot of that, some of that is still holdover from the pandemic. A lot of it was running this center without an executive director and shouldering more responsibility than was in their job description. And even retreatants or people who stop by coming in and just kind of exhaling because the world is exhausting. Life is exhausting. And I just felt that so keenly as I stepped into the role here. And I think also an orientation towards scarcity, just this fear that there won't be enough. And feeling that both here within the organization, do we have enough to maintain this beautiful campus? Do we have enough to make guests as comfortable as we want them to be? Do we have enough for a long future? And it's the same with retreatants or leaders who are coming in. Do I have enough for the life that I desire? Do I have enough for the life that God has called me to? And so these past 9 months with the staff, we have chosen and we are practicing abundance, that we're going to trust that there is enough. We're going to trust that when we offer our best, somehow in this miracle, it is actually multiplied. And so that has been part of our work together over the past 9 months. And what Mary Beth talked about, the energy. that is here. And that is energy that is seated and built, and that we stand on the shoulders of the sisters who founded this place, of the centering prayer and the quilters and the recovery groups who have been praying here for decades. They trusted, and now we trust, and we invite you to trust with us. Because underneath any exhaustion, underneath any scarcity, I just felt the Spirit at work. And it has felt like our job is really just to clear the space for the Spirit to do what the Spirit wants to do here in this place. And I could do a whole nother Zoom, an hour on the ways that that is just beautifully happening here daily and weekly and monthly. Um, so as I came in, those were very clear impressions that I had of this place and of the people who are drawn to this place. And so we have chosen to invest in the place and the people and the practice here at St. Mary Swanee, the Ayers Center for Spiritual Development. And the place, if you are able to be here anytime soon, I think you will see that the buildings have been power washed and the walls have been painted, and there are fresh flowers in the lobby. And we're just so excited to host you and have you here and invest in this place and investing in the people. And that has started with the staff, finding out from the staff what are their other gifts, displaying the chef's artwork, or asking the housekeeper to sing at the open house. How are we really letting everyone bring their whole self to work? And then how then does that have ripple effects for the leaders and for those of you who come on retreat to really invest and get to know the people? And Mary Beth is a prime example. I mean, she knows folks who come here intimately and can tell their stories and know what they value and what their hearts need. And then the practice, why you have come today. We're really investing in the practice and trying to find those variety of practices that meet people where they are, trying to offer taste. For some, a yoga practice might be totally intimidating, or 8 days of silence feels impossible. So, how do we offer tastes or introductions or ways for people to ease their way in? And you might find that one is definitely not for me. We're also trying spiritual practices in staff meetings. And after one spiritual practice, one of the staff people said, I did not like that. And that's okay. We're all built and created differently. And so, how do we experiment and invest in different practices to help us find ways to sustain our faith? And so, with that, I have the privilege of leading you in breath and movement. So, often that's identified as yoga. And yoga actually has 8 limbs that all lead to the goal of integrating mind and body. The 2 limbs of yoga that folks are most familiar with is breath, pranayama, and movement, asana. And again, the goal is to unify our breath, our mind, and our bodies. A therapist several years ago gave me the most profound insight. He said, if our goal is to unite our mind and body, that can only happen in the present moment because our bodies can only live in the present moment. Our bodies can't live in the past, and our bodies can't be transported to the future. So, if we want to be integrated, if we want to be whole, we have to find ways to bring our mind into the present moment, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds. But the gift that we have all been given, the tool, is our breath. Our breath is the tool that helps us bring those 2 things together in the present moment. And so that's where we're going to begin. And I think it's also instructive to notice our postures. We all tend to sit a certain way. We have our own habits. And so I just want you to notice as you sit in a comfortable place, Do you tend to lean forward? Some of us are always like leaning into the next task, leaning into the computer screen, leaning. And some of us are tired and we just collapse because life is hard or because our stomach hurts or whatever. So, first, I just want you to try and sit up straight, not leaning forward, not collapsing. It might help you to imagine a string coming up out of the top of your head and just pulling you to sit. So your head is on top of your spine, on top of your shoulders, perched over your hips, and then you're supported wherever you're seated. So just notice, you might even notice this is difficult. This simple posture might feel difficult. You might even feel the muscles of your stomach as you try to hold yourself there perfectly in the middle. And as we begin, I just want to do a brief body scan just to notice how you feel today in this moment. So bringing your attention to the top of your head, breathing in and breathing out. And then noticing the muscles of your face. Noticing if you clench your eyebrows in concentration, and if you can just relax those muscles between your eyes. Relaxing the muscles of your face, even letting your jaw go slack, feeling your tongue fall heavy in your mouth. Notice as you relax, if you begin to lean forward or begin to lean back. And on your next inhale, just sitting up tall. Breathing in to fill your belly. And as you exhale, notice if you can drop your shoulders away from your ears, even just a millimeter. Relax. Feeling the weight of your arms down to your fingers, maybe just wiggling your fingers or clenching into a soft fist and then releasing. Because you're not texting, you're not typing, you're not driving, letting your hands relax. Feel yourself supported by your chair, the couch, the floor. Can you trust that you are supported? That you don't have to do anything right now? Letting your belly be soft and noticing the length of your legs. Today, do your legs feel strong? Are they jittery? Are they relaxed? Just noticing. You don't have to change it or judge it, but just to notice. And then all the way down to your feet, whether they're in shoes or socks or barefoot, maybe just wiggling your toes. So as you scan your body, just notice if there are areas that are uncomfortable today. There's areas of your body that you are grateful for. Just to notice. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Now, this breath that we have been given, breath, spirit, some would call it ruah, comforter. When we are in fight, flight, or freeze, the simplest and most accessible way to counteract that is to make our exhale longer than our inhale. So we're going to try that. So we're going to breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 6. Now, everybody's lungs, everybody's rhythm is a little bit different. So you can try to follow my voice. If it's uncomfortable, then count for yourself. But we're going to experiment just 3 times, breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhaling out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So inhaling very deeply through your nose for 4, 3, filling your body, 2, 1, sitting up tall, and then exhaling completely through your mouth, 6, 5, 4, 3, wringing it all out, 2, 1. One more time, just like that. Inhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're full of air. And exhaling out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. Maybe you prefer to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, but just breathing naturally. Maybe rolling your shoulders up by your ears and then letting them relax down your back. And now we're going to match the movement to our breath very, very simply. I want you to start with your palms up and in your lap. And as you inhale, your palms rise. And as you exhale, turn them over and your palms go down to your legs. Just that simple. Inhale, your palms rise. Turn them over. Exhale, they go down. You might visualize as you inhale your body filling with air, turning, and as you exhale, you can imagine it all leaving your body. You might even feel your stomach contract. One more time, inhaling to fill your body, exhaling as you empty. Great. Now, putting your arm, you might need to scoot to the edge of your seat. I'm going to put my screen down a little bit more. And your hands are just going to hang heavy beside you. Now I want you to imagine there's strings on your elbows. So your elbows are what's going to lead your or pull your arms up. So as you inhale, those strings lift your arms, just a tiny movement, and exhale. Inhale, lift a little bit higher, and exhale. This time they might go as high as your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. This time above your shoulders. And be mindful if you've had surgery or you just have a funky shoulder, be very mindful. If it hurts, then ignore me and just go as high as is comfortable for you. Again, inhale, we're going to go just a little bit higher. And exhale. This time, if it's able, your arms go all the way up over your head. Now you need to see my hands and bring your hands into prayer. And on the exhale, your hands come down in front of your face, in front of your chest, down to your belly, and hang heavy beside you. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, your arms reach all the way up and over. Hands come into prayer. And as you exhale, they come down in front of your face, in front of your chest, your stomach, and hang heavy. I'm a bit in shadow now, but you can still see my arms. Inhaling to lift all the way up and overhead, hands in prayer, and then drawing them down as you exhale, and then letting them hang heavy. Good. Then just letting maybe shake that out a little bit. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And just notice again if any subtle changes that you feel in your body. Sorry, I'm like all black. There we go. All right, now we're gonna do also the energy, and some of you I know have just eaten. So again, be mindful if this is uncomfortable, you can ignore me and just kind of imagine that you're doing this. But we're just gonna do some forward folds. Your hands can be placed on your legs, and maybe if they need to support you, but you're gonna inhale to sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, just begin your shoulders and your chest lean first, your head comes last. And as you exhale, then dropping your head. And then on the inhale, using the strength of your arms and just pushing yourself back up all the way. And your head is the last to lift till your head is on top of your spine, your shoulders are relaxed. We're going to do that 3 more times. So inhale to sit up straight. And exhale as you begin to lean forward. Your head is the last to fall. And then when you're ready to inhale, use the strength of your arms. Begin to roll up. Imagine rolling up one vertebra at a time. And your head is the last to lift, relaxing your shoulders and completely exhaling. One more time. Inhale to sit up nice and straight. And then exhale to lean forward. Your head is the last to fall. Maybe it falls even deeper this time. And then on the inhale, beginning to roll up and exhaling at the top. Beautiful. We're going to try some twists. So remember that big inhale with the strings pulling your elbows. So inhale and your hands come all the way up. This time you're going to turn to your left and then drop your arms. Your right hand is going to come across and rest on your left knee. Your left hand is just behind you, maybe on the chair or the cushion. And notice what you want to do with your head. You might want to look just straight ahead. If you can, you can look back over your left shoulder. It's just a little deeper twist. And see if you can relax your shoulders away from your ears. Inhaling in. And as you exhale, your face comes back towards the screen first, and then you unwind your body. Good. And we'll do the other side. Inhaling to reach all the way up. Exhaling to turn towards the right, dropping your left hand to your right knee. Your right hand just rests behind you on the chair, relaxing your shoulders, the muscles in your face. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale to turning your face forward first and then releasing your arms. Beautiful. If you'd like, we're going to try some of those same movements standing. So if you have a mat, a towel, a blanket, I'm going to move my chair. Before we do that, I want you to think again about that metaphor about the past, the present, and the future. So if you can see my mat here on the ground, but I want you to imagine your mat is a timeline. If this is the past, the very middle is the present, and then the far side is the future. Where do you spend your time? Where does your mind go? Does your mind tend to go to the past? Do you rehash conversations in your head? Do you wonder, what if you had done this differently? Or what if you had made a different decision? Does your mind wander to the past? Or are you someone whose mind wanders to the future? What about dreams or about worries or what ifs or how will we? Are you someone whose mind in the stillness goes to the future? So just think about that. Maybe stand in that place, the past or the future. Where do you tend to go? And then when you're ready, I want you to come into the present. Stand there at the center, present, in this moment. You can let the past go. You don't have to worry about the future. And we're going to do some of those same movements here in the present moment. So imagine again, filling your breath as your palms lift, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling as your palms rise, exhaling as your palms fall. Then imagine them reaching wide as you inhale and exhaling to relax. Lifting wide as you inhale and then exhaling to relax. This time all the way up overhead, inhaling to lift, palms touch. And as you exhale, your palms come down in front of your face, your chest, your belly, and fall heavy. One more time, inhaling to reach all the way up. Exhaling as they come down in front of your face, your chest, your belly, and fall heavy to your sides. Now we're going to get our legs involved a little bit too. These twists are a little bit different. I want you to imagine bending your knees just a little bit, and your right arm is going to scoop. Your right arm scoops up overhead, and then watch it fall behind you. So it's still a little bit of a twist. And then we'll do the left hand. As you bend your legs, your left arm scoops up and overhead and falls behind you. We'll do both arms 2 more times. So gentle bend of your knees, right arm comes up and let it fall behind you, watching it as you can, if you can. Bending your knees, your left arm scoops up and overhead and falls behind you. One more time, each arm, bending your knees, right arm scoops up and falls behind you. Bending your knees, last one, your left arm reaches up and then falls gently behind you. And now we're going to do a half salutation. I'm going to turn sideways. We're just going to do this 2 times if you feel like really getting a good forward fold in. So your arms are going to reach up as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward. You might want to put your hands on your knees again to support you as you drop your head. Inhale, lifting up halfway so you make like a right angle or a 7. Exhale, reach for your toes if you can. And then on the exhale, on the exhale, drag your fingers across your feet, up your shins, up your knees, up your torso, and your hands reach all the way up to the sky, maybe even looking at your fingers, and then letting fall to the side on the exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling to reach all the way up, maybe looking at your fingers. Exhaling to fold forward, bending your knees, using your hands if you need to support you. Inhale to come halfway up into a right angle or a 7. Exhaling as you reach for your toes. Exhale, your fingers are going to pull across the tops of your feet and draw up your shins over your knees. Your head is the last to lift as your fingers come up your torso in front of your face, reaching for the sky, head lifts. And exhale, everything softens as you drop your hands down by your side. One more time, inhaling to reach up, exhaling to fold forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, reaching for the mat, the floor, the ground. This time, if you can, reaching your arms out wide as you stand. Your arms go out wide. Your head is still the last to lift. As you reach up, hands in prayer, look at your thumbs, and then as you exhale, bringing them down in front of your face, your chest, your belly, and falling gently beside you. Beautiful. Come back to your seats. And remember, as I breathe in, I am breathing in. And as I exhale, I am breathing out. Thank you. I'm curious to hear, what was that experience like for you? Maybe that is something you do often. Maybe you've never done it before. Was it a blessing? Was it uncomfortable? So you can either put it in the chat or unmute. Ah, Barbara, let's hear what those thumbs up mean.
It just felt really good to stretch today. I hadn't stretched yet today.
So is stretching a normal or a regular practice for you?
Well, I'm really changing. I do some knee exercises for my legs every day, almost every day, because of some problems I had with one knee.
Okay.
And I do Tai Chi once a week, and I do yoga very intermittently
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
But I like stretching. It feels really, really good. So thank you. I hadn't done this yet today.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Leanna, Ron, what was that experience like for you?
Yeah.
It felt good. That's what we like to hear. Well, I also want to, we have, several minutes left. I also want to know if you have questions about St. Mary Swanee, or impressions, or, and questions for me personally. But really, this is just a time for us to share, and get to know each other a little bit better, or, even ideas, practices that you haven't seen here yet at St. Mary Swanee that we can add. So I'm just curious to hear from you.
I
Ron, oh, good. I saw Ron in the chat. You're slowly getting back into my yoga practice. I think slowly is a good idea.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Barbara, yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, I come obviously relatively often, usually tied to centering prayer to St. Mary's. But lately, Richard and I have been experimenting with other things. Like we came to the music workshop with, I can't think of her name,
Carrie Newcomer.
Very Newcomer, and it was wonderful. And often when we come to centering prayer, especially longer retreats, we end up doing yoga, which I need when I'm doing a long retreat. So, and also, I mean, I have done things. I every time I've been there, I've had a positive experience. It doesn't mean I don't have hard times at times when I'm there, especially on a long retreat. But I think I remember the first time I came at a long retreat to St. Mary's. And at one point, I just looked out at the mountains and I saw them totally. And it was just lovely.
Mm.
And I found that I was much more peaceful. I didn't know how anxious I was until I had that level of peace that I had with that
Mm.
retreat. So we're trying more. We tried a creativity one. I'm thinking we've signed up for something. And I always like mindfulness on the mountain as well.
Mm.
On several times. So those are things I know that I enjoy, but I've never been to something I haven't enjoyed.
That's good to hear. Mary Beth, do you want to address Ron's question about cost?
Oh, that's a great question, Ron. So it depends on the type of retreat that you come to. Barbara referred to the To Create, Answer the Call retreat. That's going to be at the end of October, and I believe the St. Mary's Hall is $650 for the weekend. Does that sound right, Barbara? Um, And that covers the meals and lodging in St. Mary's Hall. There's also a commuter package that would be $100 less, and that is if you just come in for the program and then go home and stay at home. And also, I'd just like to remind us that any of our retreats, there are scholarships available for any of them. Now, she also referenced a longer retreat, an 8-day retreat. Though there is one in January, and we have different packages, including the Anna House building. That's a motel style building. Those retreats in the Anna House are 1,700. I think St. Mary's Hall is 1,200. And that is a different type of retreat. It's obviously it's a lot longer. So again, it includes your meals, it includes your lodging, and any conference fees. So it just really depends on the retreat itself. There are different prices depending on the kind of retreat it is, the presenter, how long it is, and all of that information is on the link in the chat. We have the first quarter of 2026 open. The rest of 2025 is open, and by the end of this year, we'll have the retreats for the rest of next year are open.
Thank you,
Oh, and
Mary
one
Beth.
other thing I forgot to mention, we do have day workshops too that are just for the day. You can come in and have lunch and experience a retreat, kind of like what we did today, but you might just be here for the day. We're scheduling some of those that will just be on a Saturday. And also we are working on an art experience that will be a series on a Tuesday evening that will include just snacks and an art and spirituality, which will be with Carol Foray, that will start in the spring of next year. So that's a different type of retreat that will have a different price as well. So
Thank you. Leanne, I appreciate your comment that the world is overwhelming right now, and it's helpful to be reminded of ways to bring ourselves back to the present when the chaos is making our minds restless. Amen. Amen. It was probably two or 3 weeks ago, I felt myself slipping back into scarcity. We're not going to have enough. We're not going to, I just felt almost like spinning around that, and then realizing I hadn't been for a hike in the woods. I hadn't been doing my 10 minutes. I only do 10 minutes, Barbara. My 10 minutes of meditation. And so it was like recommitting. These are the things that I need to do when I notice, for me, it's slipping back into scarcity. So I really appreciate that, Leanne. It is, the world is overwhelming. I think a whole nother workshop is about the news cycle and how we balance the news cycle with our practice. How are we informed citizens and not overwhelmed citizens? And I'm curious about your comment about practicing with other people. I find that too. I think there's centering prayer at home in the chair that I prefer, and then there's centering prayer in a circle with 15 people, and it feels very different. Or a yoga practice alone, or a yoga practice in a room. I for a while when I was living in Nashville, I was attending 3 or 4 yoga classes a week. I don't know where all that money went, but there was, and each yoga practice had its own energy. So on Wednesday nights, it was a very gentle, it was mostly women. It was just a very calm practice. And on Sunday nights, it was a more athletic practice, and the energy in the room was totally different. So it is when we're with people, and who we're with influences our practice as well. Yeah. And I'm living in a new area. Oh, I haven't found a local yoga class. I hope that you find one soon, Leanne. Well, I know that we are at our time. Are there other questions or comments before we go?
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Ron. Wonderful. Blessings this day. Blessings this day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.